At first glance, the dash in the title might seem like a small, insignificant detail. However, in storytelling and headline writing, this simple punctuation mark plays a crucial role in building suspense, controlling pacing, and increasing the emotional impact of the message. It is more than just a grammatical tool, it is a dramatic pause that changes how the reader experiences the information. The dash in this title works like a breathless moment in conversation. It creates a pause that signals to the reader something big is coming next. This builds anticipation. The reader knows that the information following the dash will likely be surprising, shocking, or emotionally powerful. This technique is commonly used in storytelling, headlines, and even spoken speech, to heighten drama and keep the audience on the edge of their seat. Without the dash, the sentence would flow continuously, potentially diluting the emotional tension. The dash breaks the rhythm, making the reader stop and wonder, what happens next? Why is this important? What is the hidden truth or revelation? In psychological terms, the dash acts as a curiosity trigger. It taps into the brain's natural desire for closure and resolution. When a sentence or story is interrupted or held in suspense, the mind naturally wants to fill in the gap or find out the ending. This keeps the reader mentally engaged, drawing them deeper into the story. In the context of this specific title, little girl gives hidden signal to her dog. Judge freezes. When he realizes the truth, the dash separates the action from the reaction. Before the dash, we know that the little girl has done something unusual. She gives a secret signal to her dog. This by itself raises questions. The dash then signals that there is a consequence, something significant happens because of this action, and the reader is about to find out what it is. The placement of the dash before the revelation helps maximize the surprise factor. It builds an emotional pause, giving the reader time to form guesses or expectations before delivering the twist that judges reaction. This makes the ending feel more satisfying, shocking, or impactful because it has been properly set up and delayed. The dash also serves as a kind of visual clue on the page or screen. Our eyes naturally pause when they see it, and our brain registers that the information on either side of the dash carries different emotional weights. The first half is about setup, the action, while the second half is about payoff, the reaction. In storytelling, this kind of structural pause reflects how humans naturally tell suspenseful stories in real life. We often pause before delivering the punchline or surprise. The dash in the title mirrors this instinct, making the story feel more gripping, more emotional, and more human. In short, the dash is a powerful tool that creates suspense, emotional pause, and dramatic tension, making the reader eager to discover what happens next. It controls pacing and heightens the overall impact of the title. The phrase, "What the judge sees next leaves him stunned," is the payoff of the title. It delivers the hook that compels the reader to want to know what happens next. It's a classic storytelling technique. After setting the scene, introducing the characters, and creating suspense, the title ends with a promise of something unexpected, emotional, or shocking. This part is essential because it builds the emotional climax while leaving just enough mystery to make readers click, read, or listen further. First, the choice of the judge is important. Judges are symbols of authority, wisdom, and control. They are seen as serious, composed figures who rarely show strong emotions in public, especially in a courtroom where they are expected to remain impartial and professional. By focusing on the judge's reaction, the title suggests that whatever is about to happen is so extraordinary or touching that even someone as composed as a judge cannot hide their surprise or emotions. This raises the reader's expectations. What could possibly shock a judge? How is this little girl and her dog involved in something that shakes a courtroom? Second, the phrase, What the judge sees next introduces a cliffhanger. It doesn't tell the reader outright what happens. Instead, it creates a gap in information, a classic psychological trigger for curiosity known as the curiosity gap. Our brains naturally dislike incomplete stories or unanswered questions. So when a title tells us something surprising is about to happen but withholds the details, we feel compelled to find out more. This is a powerful storytelling strategy, used in both fiction and news headlines. The wording also keeps the focus on action and discovery. The word "sees" suggests that something visible, immediate, and likely emotional is about to unfold. It taps into the human instinct to witness something firsthand, which is why people are drawn to visual, emotional moments in stories. Next, the phrase "leaves him stunned" adds the emotional punch. The word "stunned" is vivid. It goes beyond mere surprise. It suggests a moment of shock, disbelief, or even deep emotional impact. This could mean the judge is shocked by something heartwarming, heroic, or heartbreaking. The vagueness of the reaction invites the reader to imagine possibilities, each one more intriguing than the last. Is the dog performing an unbelievable task? Is the girl revealing something profound? The mind fills with questions, and this mental activity drives the urge to read further. Additionally, the fact that the judge is the one stunned makes the event seem more credible and meaningful. If such a powerful figure is deeply affected, readers assume the event must be truly special or important. This plays on the idea that some moments in life can cut through formality and hierarchy, reaching the core of human emotion. In summary, what the judge sees next leaves him stunned serves as the emotional hook and cliffhanger that completes the title's arc. It heightens curiosity, emotional tension, and dramatic impact, ensuring that the reader feels compelled to discover the story behind this surprising courtroom moment. Ask ChatGPT. The phrase "in court" serves as the opening of the title and plays a crucial role in setting the scene for the story. Though simple and brief, these two words immediately create a mental image and establish the environment in which the events take place. In writing, especially in headlines or titles meant to grab attention, the setting is often the first thing that helps anchor the reader's imagination. Here, court suggests an official, formal, and potentially high-stakes situation, which naturally sparks curiosity. A courtroom is not an everyday place for most people. It's associated with justice, law, truth-seeking, and sometimes life-changing decisions. By mentioning this location right at the beginning, the title signals that the story is likely to involve something serious, official, or dramatic. The mention of a court automatically raises the stakes in the reader's mind. People understand that things that happen in court can have major consequences, be it legal, emotional, or social. Moreover, the courtroom environment brings with it a set of expectations about behavior. Courts are places of formality, where individuals are expected to follow strict rules of conduct. It's a place where emotions are often controlled, and actions are guided by procedure and decorum. When you mention something as lighthearted or unusual as a little girl or a dog in this setting, the contrast becomes immediately intriguing. Readers instinctively know that children and animals don't naturally fit into the stiff, formal environment of a court. This contrast hooks the audience right from the start. The phrase "in court" also implies that the story is likely based on a true or believable scenario. Courtrooms are real places where real decisions affecting real people are made. This creates an air of authenticity and seriousness. Even if the story that follows is emotional, heartwarming, or even surprising, grounding it in a courtroom lends weight to the events, making them seem important and worth paying attention to. Additionally, courtrooms often involve cases of justice, protection, and human drama. When people hear something happened in court, they immediately wonder, who is on trial? What is at stake? What truth will be revealed? This creates an underlying sense of tension and anticipation before even introducing the main characters or actions. It primes the audience to expect something meaningful, or impactful. In short, the phrase "in court" is not just about physical location, it signals seriousness, raises curiosity, builds tension, and prepares the reader for a story where truth and justice might play a role. It also makes any unusual or unexpected event that happens within that setting, like a child signaling a dog, seem even more surprising, giving the overall story more emotional punch. This is why starting the title with this simple phrase is so effective. The phrase "little girl" introduces the central character of the story and plays a powerful role in immediately drawing the reader's attention on an emotional level. The choice of words here is deliberate and impactful because it taps into deep human instincts related to protection, innocence, and vulnerability. When readers see the words "little girl," they instantly picture a young, innocent child, someone fragile, defenseless, and pure. Society is naturally inclined to care about children, especially when they are placed in serious or adult situations. By mentioning a little girl in the context of a courtroom, a place typically associated with adults, legal matters, and high-stakes decisions, the title creates a striking contrast. This makes readers immediately curious. Why is a child in court? What happened to her? Is she in danger, or is she a witness? The emotional appeal here is crucial. Stories involving children naturally engage readers' protective instincts. People are more likely to feel compassion, concern, and curiosity when a child is at the center of a dramatic or unusual event. The idea of a little girl instantly softens the mood of the story, even if the setting, the courtroom, is hard or intimidating. This contrast helps balance tension with emotion, making the reader want to know more. Another important aspect is the universality of the image. No matter the reader's background, almost everyone can understand and connect with the idea of a child in an unfamiliar, serious situation. The phrase doesn't specify age, race, or background. It leaves just enough room for the reader's imagination to fill in the blanks, creating a universal emotional appeal. The word "little" specifically adds extra emotional weight. If the title said "young girl" or "girl," it would still describe a child, but the use of "little" emphasizes her smallness, fragility, and innocence. It signals to the reader that this character is not just young, she is vulnerable. This choice of wording makes whatever happens next in the story feel more urgent and impactful. By introducing a child as the key character, the title also suggests that the story may involve themes of courage, resilience, or surprising wisdom traits that become even more touching or inspiring when they come from someone so young. Readers are often drawn to stories where children, despite their size or inexperience, show bravery, cleverness, or emotional strength, especially in settings where they are least expected to shine, such as a courtroom. Additionally, having a little girl as the focal point of the story hints that there may be something hidden or unspoken in the situation. Children often notice or reveal truths that adults miss or hide. This builds further curiosity about what role she will play and what surprising twist may come. In short, the phrase "little girl" instantly creates emotional connection, highlights vulnerability, and sparks curiosity. It sets up the story's human element, ensuring the reader cares deeply about what happens next. The phrase "gives hidden signal to her dog" serves as the heart of the title. It introduces the action that creates suspense, mystery, and emotional intrigue. This is where the story truly begins to take shape in the reader's mind because something unusual and unexpected is happening. A little girl in the serious setting of a courtroom gives a secret signal to her dog. This raises many immediate questions and draws the reader deeper into the mystery. First, the idea of a hidden signal naturally sparks curiosity. Humans are drawn to secrets, codes, and things that are not immediately obvious. The word hidden suggests that the action is covert, deliberate, and meaningful. It tells readers that the little girl is not acting randomly. She has a purpose and intent behind her actions. This triggers the reader's imagination. What kind of signal is it? Why is she doing this in a courtroom? What does she want the dog to do? This simple phrase sets the stage for a mystery that demands an answer. The reader wants to continue because they need to find out what happens next and what the signal means. Second, the involvement of a dog adds another layer of warmth, emotion, and unexpectedness. Dogs symbolize loyalty, love, protection, and intelligence. Most people have positive feelings about dogs, and stories that involve animals, especially pets, tend to attract emotional interest. A dog in a courtroom is itself unusual, which adds to the feeling that this is not a typical legal case but something unique and heart-touching. By combining the child and the dog, the title taps into a powerful emotional bond. Dogs are often seen as protectors and companions for children, which implies that the relationship between the girl and her dog could be meaningful to the story's outcome. The idea of a child silently signaling her dog suggests trust, understanding, and possibly a shared secret between them, which adds depth to the characters without even needing further explanation. Moreover, the action of giving a signal hints at cleverness or bravery on the girl's part. It suggests that she is not passive in this serious situation. Instead, she is actively doing something that might change the outcome of the moment. This builds anticipation. Readers begin to suspect that the girl and her dog are going to surprise everyone in the courtroom, and the reader wants to see how. This part of the title also introduces a hint of tension. The fact that the signal is hidden suggests that not everyone is supposed to see it. It implies that something is at stake. Perhaps the girl is trying to communicate something important without drawing attention, or she's in a situation where she must act carefully. In summary, gives hidden signal to her dog is the pivotal moment that grabs attention by blending mystery, emotion, and suspense. It makes the reader ask questions, feel concerned for the characters, and feel compelled to learn the outcome. It's the spark that sets the story in motion. Ask ChatGPT.